Thank you so much for this really warm welcome. I have a very enviable topic under discussion today: diversity, equity, and inclusion. Well, it's an honor to be here amongst so many of you, and I can see that the diversity is quite humongous in this room. So that's very encouraging. Let me just rush through a couple of these slides. India Inc. sees increase in overall percentage of women in senior roles, but gaps remain, studies undertaken. Female representation at seniority level, entry 28.7%, 29.5%. This is across sectors, not just our industry. Manager 18.5%, director 20.1%, VP, CXO 15.3%. Average female participation across sectors in the Indian economy, 12.7, IT 30%, financial services 22.4%, 69% of companies had no women among their KMP, majority of women face sexual harassment at workplace. This is all economic survey 2023. Average ratio of median remuneration, women to men, etc., 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 etc. All of you would be wondering, कहना क्या चाहती है? What is she saying? What do you want, right? What do we want over here? What are we trying to do? Why am I on this stage today? I would like this to be a little participative. Happy to take questions at any given point in time. Absolutely, I agree. But interestingly, when we talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, is there any idea why? And why is it important? What happens with all these statistics? You know, Mark Twain said, lies, more lies, and statistics. How does it impact me? Why am I even discussing this? Do I have a way? Do I know what I'm doing with my organization? Why are these numbers quoted to me on a daily basis? I go to work, I go home. Every day I hear women empowerment, Nari Shakti, Mahila Morcha. Why? Why are we doing all of this? So I was here, I was invited to talk on diversity, right? And I've decided that we will not talk about diversity, we will not talk about equity, we will not talk about equality, we will not talk about inclusion at all. All words. We have a limbic brain in our head, right? Back of our head. It does not register over there. These are all numbers thrown at us on a daily basis. So today I've decided I'm not going to be talking about diversity at all. We just had our previous panelist who talked about biases, personal biases, right? The limbic brain in us as human beings, 99.9% of us have personal biases to any other being who does not look like us, is not anatomically, physiologically like us. We have our biases. All of you would be saying, no, that's not me. Trust me, buddy, it's you. And it's me, right? So let's talk about belonging. Have we at any given point in time made another being feel that they don't belong? They're a misfit. Maybe you have felt that you don't belong. You're a misfit. Have you ever made somebody else feel that they do not belong? I have. So a little bit of a throwback. I started my career, it's been like almost 23, 24 years back. I lost my father at a very young age, close to 20s, in college, started doing financial services, understood the markets, felt that, you know, the minute I started driving my car, my career, my job, my prospects, everything was in my hand, just like the steering wheel, right? I was self-made, I made it through, successful business women, all of that. I was very excited, right? I entered this training room of a multinational bank, which was having a session on diversity, inclusion, and equity. And I sat, and I realized that the entire room, there were very few women over there, and I was feeling very smug. I was gloating. I was like, wow, I've made it, right? I am the picture story of this successful woman. And then, who's the trainer? The trainer is this young man who's standing in front, and he's going to be teaching me about diversity, inclusion, and equity. That would not do. I was very offended. I got up and I went and told him, I said, excuse me, I don't think you know where I'm coming from, and I don't need to be learning about diversity and inclusion from you. So he said, I'm trying very hard to empathize, ma'am, and I wish you'd known a bit more about me. I'm a man and I'm gay. So the struggle has been real for me as well. So I went very quietly back to my seat, and I was humbled. And I realized that the limbic part of our brain does have personal biases. And we like to make other people feel that they do not belong. It's not about being a man or a woman or an other. It's just that we live with these biases on a daily basis. But why am I talking about belonging? I mean, I've been called here for diversity, inclusion, equity. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about biases. I'm talking about belonging. Well, there's a sneaky little side which I quickly skipped. Let me go back to that. Nearly 72% women now take investment decisions independently. Wow, when did this happen? This wasn't meant to happen. In fact, this didn't happen for decades in India. How has this come about? Well, this is a fact. There are 72% of the women who are now investing. In the top 30 cities, it's not even about mutual funds. They're investing into leverage products, real estate, direct equity, startups, all of that, right? B30 cities. Women traditionally never, ever went beyond fixed deposits, gold. Now they're creating folios, mutual fund investors. 25 to 35 years old, 35 to 45 years old. Do they belong in our industry? Do they have a sense of belonging? They've all started investing. How much do we know about them? There's close to 1 lakh crore AUM being handled by women MFDs. How much do we know about them? How do they go about with business? So that's where the belonging comes. You know why? Because end of the day, what are we all here for? Physiological needs, roti, kapda, makan, money, right? You create that sense of belonging. It's a net positive for each one of us. You make money, I make money. And this is a category that is not going away in a hurry. How are we addressing that? So very interesting, when I was doing some independent research, I realized 40% of women in Goa invest. It's the largest in India, followed by Northeast, New Delhi, Mumbai, Chandigarh. How much do we know about their context, the backgrounds they come from, the geographies they reside in? We've just given statistics that women have started investing. 44% of them are using fintech platforms, right? What about the others? Are these proxy folios? Are they being handled by their husbands and brothers? How much do we know about them? Are these dormant? We just discussed today about asset allocation, funds, passive investing. Tell me something. Would a woman wake up in the morning that today I have to invest into a flexi-cap fund, today I have to do passive investing ETF? The technical language is very tough still for a lot of women who are actually working in large numbers in the workforce but do not belong. They fail to belong to our industry because we have made our language very tough for them. They don't understand this level of technical language. What are we doing to address that? Recruitment and onboarding. Do we tend to think our HR systems out of the box, beyond job qualifications? Do we tend to recruit candidates who are sensitized towards understanding that this is a niche that can become really huge in our industry? Are we having university partnerships, professional development, organizations, education and training to address this very set of women investors who are coming in such large numbers and whom we have no clue about where they're coming from. In the end, it's all related. Financial health, your physical health, and your mental health. You cannot create belonging till you are talking diversity. Your limbic brain needs to register that if you create a sense of belonging, that's where you make money, I make money, and your investors make money. A very interesting phrase, quote by Charles Darwin, the father of evolution. It is actually not the strongest who survive. It is not even the most intelligent. It is the person who can adapt, the species who can adapt, who survives. You have to see the trends early on. As the financial sector continues to evolve, the rising tide of women investors is set to play a crucial role in shaping the future of investments in India. Are we ready to adapt, or are we ready to perish? Thank you.